But the difficulty is in figuring out where you're supposed to be when. If you're supposed to be there in the past or the present. And it just gets confusing. I just forget where in here we're supposed to be. Because I think we activated that to open up the door at all. I feel like we're supposed to be able to change from one to the other somewhere. Because if we look up, there's nothing here. So this is pretty much how I normally go through the sand ship. Bang my head against the wall until I figure out what I'm supposed to do. Actually, I remember what we're supposed to do. That little lifeboat that I sent down was the thing that we were supposed to ride. So I always get... The funny thing is, this dungeon is so small, and it's easy to remember where everything is, but you never remember where you're supposed to be when. At least I have that problem. So you saw the one room that we went through, and now all the dudes are back again. But we weren't able to open up the one on the other side. It turns out the way to get into that other room is actually down here. The problem is we can't get in because it's blocked. I don't know if this will spawn me back up to the top or if it'll spawn me in the lifeboat. Okay, that saves me the trouble. And I think the door to the ship should be open to us now. Yeah, this is what I was missing. We can actually go through here in the past. I forgot it opened up the gate that was blocking this before. Now we're here in the past. So we can see the ship like it used to be. And just like everything else in the Lanayru areas we've been through. It's a really interesting looking area to go through. You can also kill these guys with one shot. I forget if it has to be fully charged, but it's super convenient. Okay, no, it has to be fully charged. That's annoying. But Phi will tell us that there's light here, which means that we should be able to see up. And if we look hard enough, we should be able to spot where the time shift stone is, assuming that my controls will agree with me. And you remember, this was closed off to us in the present. But in the past, we can go through here. Not only will it give us access to this lever that'll let us change past and present whenever we come in here again, but I believe this also gives us the map. And really, the only part of this place that we haven't explored yet is the third basement. So there's not much else going on in here. And you can't exactly change from past to present wherever and whenever you want. But it adds an interesting... Again, every time we go through an area in Lanayru, it's different than the last. Like, the mining facility, we can only change one room at a time, and we would always want it in the past if we could have it. We'd never want to switch it back. Okay, guys, I'd rather not deal with you if I don't have to. Dropping another skull. I don't know if we're going to need more of these. I think we have enough. But just in case. And another block we're going to want to move, and this will open up the window with a lifeboat on it, I believe. But every time we go through an area like this, even though it has a similar mechanic with the time shifting, it feels different each time. So now what? I can see something in there. Not sure what we can do with it. But one way we do have to go is down here. And although I don't believe there's anything that we can do down here yet, I think it's a good idea to step down and explore, see what it is we're trying to do. If this is like any kind of ship I've been in, down in the basement is most likely the engine room. Also this guy. How are you doing, guy? You like an arrow to the foot? Not quite sure what's above us right now. I mean, there was a dude over there. Although it does look like that might be the brig where all the little dudes are. Can't see it too well. I don't know if we'd be able to get a closer shot of it here. I see something moving around in there. Maybe that's the brig up there. But it doesn't look like there's anything that we can do down here. Looks like we're going to have to give a little more power to the ship before we're able to do anything here. I assume this was one of the places where 5 is going to pop up and tell us what we had to do, but maybe we have to go talk to the little dudes to do that. I'm not really in the mood to backtrack all the way down there again if I don't have to. But just suffice it to say that the little dudes would tell us that we need to power the ship. Because we're not going to be able to get around to the little dudes until we do that. So I forget which side we want to be on. I think it's this side. We already opened this up last time. And just like with the switch to open up the time shift stone, this will get some of the stuff down in the engine room moving. And as you can imagine, there's another one on the other side that we need to activate. Problem is, we can't get in. And I might need to think to figure out what we have to do. Because we can't get through the door here. We need to get in there while it's the past, or while it's the present. And we weren't able to do that because these windows were locked before. They're not locked now. But we're not going to be... I don't think we can reach the time shift stone from down here, though. I think we're going to want to activate the ice switch up here. Although we should be able to see it from the lifeboat. Just a little bit worried about guys spotting us from here, but we'll be fine. So even though the ship will be in the present, this lifeboat is still active. So we can move this thing up and down. But when I first went through the sand ship, this little lifeboat was so confusing to me. I swear it cost me like 30-40 minutes trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go when with that thing. And although we can't activate this because it's in the present right now, we will be able to change back to the past because we can activate the time shift stone from here. And you can see I'm trying to hit it off-center because there's going to be a bar blocking my shot if I don't. So now that we have both of these activated, we should be able to gain access to the brig from behind. Toy keeps telling us we need to go talk to the brig. I don't really see why that's necessary, but we're not going to be able to get out of here as this room is because I didn't unlock it for some reason. I forget if there's anything you need to do to unlock the door, or if it's just always locked and you have to get out this way. But either way, we still have to go out the normal way. I feel like I'm doing something out of order, but you know what? It works. We'll be fine. Small area. It's more confusing than the large ones. It's a bit strange. Maybe I will run downstairs to talk to the crew, I don't know. They won't tell you anything I didn't tell you yet. So these guys will be shooting arrows at you. One shot from anything will kill the archers. It doesn't matter how weak of an attack it is. Actually, I don't know why I jumped down. We were going to the place where the crew is. I just wanted to get it into the past so we could move downstairs to the engine room. So again, I keep talking about how confused I get going through here. There really isn't much to it, and it's got a lot of the elements of dungeons that I like, while keeping it more unique than any other dungeon I've ever seen. But it still somehow found a way to not be enjoyable to me. It's one of those areas that I just don't know how to feel about. But naturally, you don't want to get crushed by these things. The ones in the beginning will be moving slowly, so it's pretty difficult to get yourself crushed by one. And some of them you can actually climb onto. We'll have to do that soon. But one of the things you don't want to do when going through here is climb yourself into another one. Now here we have another thing that we can use to whip from, and if we stop ourselves, I think we want to climb up a bit. We should be able to swing all the way over to here, and this will bring us up to one of the rooms that we passed when we first came in. I didn't make a note of it, but you can see the boss door is on the other side over there, and the brig is behind that room. It's down to the left. And in here are a whole bunch of treasure chests. You'll find a mix of big treasures and I believe silver rupees. So I think they alternate, like you get 1 treasure, 1 rupee, 1 treasure, 1 rupee. Considering we're in a pirate ship, well, not really a pirate ship, it's a ship that's been overrun by pirates. And these, I want to say, are not randomized, because I always remember getting an evil crystal and a monster horn down here. I swear, if the chest after this silver rupee has another evil crystal, I'm going to be very upset. Okay, it's just another monster horn. We could use a bunch of these. I think we have more than enough. But there's no reason for us not to have more than we need. And I think we can just jump down from here if the game would let me. So we can just dash straight through here. And you're going to want to time this one so that you land on the one in the front. I obviously didn't do that very well. And I am going to get crushed if I'm not careful. I don't think you can run up this one. I was supposed to land on it, and it just didn't time itself very well. I'm not entirely sure what these pistons are trying to accomplish. Why they're here, what purpose they serve, but they're here and they're doing something. So that was the bar that we weren't able to cross before. Give us a shortcut so we never have to go through there again. And if we make our way through here, hopefully we'll be able to spot the little dudes that we haven't talked to and have no idea that we're here to save them. So I'm sure they'll be happy. You can see it's the same room with the wheels and the spokes. Know anything about Nehru's Flame? Because I've seen just about everything there is on this ship and still haven't found it yet. Do you happen to have that key? Awesome. And this key will give us access to the last room in the ship we have yet to explore. All the way back up at the top of the ship. See you, little buddies? He goes nice and slow. And then as soon as we turn around, he's not going to be there anymore. We won't be able to see him. We can't go out the easy way because I think this one is still locked. So we're going to have to make our way back through the brig. But thankfully, we were able to open up that shortcut, so it won't take as long to get through here. So this place has been more about figuring out where you're supposed to go when and getting lost than actually fighting off enemies. And outside of one small section I assume we only have to go through to get the boss key and then run all the way back down to the bottom of the ship again to open up the boss door, there really hasn't been much going on in this dungeon at all. Is the lifeboat still here? Maybe that would be the fastest way up. I thought I still had the bow equipped. So it's a dungeon whose design and concept I really love, but it's just so tedious to go through. I don't know how to feel about it. One last section of the ship to go through, though. And I forget if we want it to be present or past. I guess we want it to be present, don't we? See, this is exactly what I mean. You never know what state of the ship you want it to be at any given point until you go there. It's really irritating to run down somewhere and find out, oh hey, it's the wrong time state. I need it to be the other one. Let me run all the way back out, wait for the loading screen, go all the way back in, wait for the loading screen again, and then run back. Maybe that's just me, though. So we're back here again in the present, only to change it back to the present, past, future, whatever it happens to be. This guy's going to be in the way if we try to open up that panel and activate the eye switch, so we need to change it back to the past again. But the cool thing about the bow and arrow is that you can one-shot Beamos with it. Okay, buddy, I don't appreciate you. Golden Skull. I mean, I know I don't need these anymore, but they dropped so rarely from those guys, I couldn't resist it. I'm sorry. So that opens up. And of course, it's another eye switch to hit. Who could have seen that coming? And inside we have a couple more Beamos. Hopefully they don't spot us too soon. I don't know if this needs to be fully charged to kill them. I hope it doesn't. But it's just so nice. Like, these guys were extremely tedious to kill before, where you had to swipe them down carefully, one block at a time. Now you can just shoot them in the eye and they're dead. I like that. And in here we have a squid carving. Huh? Why is it a squid? Well, now that we have the boss key, it's time to run all the way down to the bottom of the ship and open up the boss door that's as far away from this room as possible. Because why not? We've had so much fun going back and forth from one room to the other, changing the time state.